The lowest contributors. The lowest contributors are Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands have the lowest in the list containing 33 states and union territories. The list is containing 33 states as well as union territories, out of which the lowest rank is to this Andaman and Nicobar Islands, having the lowest contribution, followed by the lowest contribution list is followed by Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Manipur. Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Manipur, Mizoram. Their contribution is also very low. And according to the World Bank report of 2019, according to the World Bank report of 2019, the total GDP of the Indian economy, according to 2017 statistical data, using 2017 statistical data, the national income GDP of India, World Bank calculated as 2,652.5 2,652.55 billion US dollars. 2,652.55 billion US dollar is, according to 2017 data, GDP of Indian economy according to World Bank assessment. And the World Bank assessment for the very same year 2017, Kerala contribution is the GDP of Kerala according to the World Bank report of 2019 based on 2017 statistical data is 4.10 billion US dollar. 4.10 billion US dollar. 4.10 billion US dollar, the contribution, GDP contribution of Kerala state to the GDP of the entire Indian economy. That is coming to 4.10 percentage. 4.10 percentage is the total contribution of Kerala state to the GDP of the government. About 4.1 percentage contribution is the Kerala state contribution to the gross domestic product of the Indian economy. 4.10 percentage. 4.10 percentage contribution, Kerala's contribution towards the GDP of government of India. Now, coming to the details of the Kerala economy contribution, section wise and all the details of the Kerala economy, we may say that Kerala economy is having all the natural and mineral resources, and sometimes we call the economy as God's own country. And God's own country, we say on one side as it is supposed to be created by Lord Parashurama. And on that basis we may say that it is a creation of God's own country. And another reason is that the scenic beauty of the Kerala state, availability of natural, mineral, sea and all other resources, with the backwaters and availability of sufficient water facility, fertile land is also having here, so that we say it is a God's own country. On climatic side also we find that there is no such an extremity of winter season, or we may say summer season, such an extremity is not found. The entire state taken together, the climatic condition is most suitable for human living, with all the amenities of the natural gift. nature's boon, on the basis of the natural gift or nature's boon to the Kerala economy. It is supposed to be the most beautiful as well as the peaceful atmosphere to live in. And on that basis, we consider Kerala as God's own country. It is a God's own country. And according to the data submission, we find that 2019-20 estimate of GDP, 2019-20, the last estimate of GDP of Kerala state comes to 8.76 lakh crore GDP. 8.76 lakh crores rupees. Rupees, in terms of rupees, 8.76 lakh crores of rupees, which comes to 120 billion US dollar. It comes to 120 billion US dollar. 120 billion US dollar. And thus we find at present, at the last statistical data of 2019-20, available data 2019-20, at present the share contribution of Kerala state is 4%. According to the last, it is the contribution 4%. Earlier what we said is 2017-18. 410. Some difference is there. We have because of the natural calamity happened. 2018 natural calamity happened. The agricultural sector as a whole, we find drops in production, and thus some shocks were there. Natural shocks were there to Kerala economy during 2018, and that may be the reason for a little bit lower contribution of Kerala to the GDP of India, which comes to 4% according to the present condition. Then the population percentage, if you take the total population of Kerala in comparison with the national population or overall population, 2.8%. 2.8% of the total population of India is Kerala. Kerala population. Kerala population, the people, the number of people in the Kerala state comes to 2.8% of the total population consists of Kerala population, India. Then agricultural sector contribution. Contribution of the agricultural sector towards the national income, towards the state income, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ state of Kerala's contribution of agricultural sector comes to 13%. 13%. We know that at the time of our independence, all over India, when you are taking India as a whole, 54% of the national income was the contribution of the agricultural sector. 54%. Why? Because at that time, industrial development was very low. There was no such an industrial development at the time of our independence. Service sector, there is no such a sector contribution actually in the Indian economy at that time. So a major portion of the national income at the time of our independence we find from the agricultural sector, the main source of occupation for the entire nation's individual. 55.4% of the national income was coming from the primary agricultural sector during the time of our independence. Due to 5-year plans, you find industrial sector, secondary sector created. Little by little, we started more and more industrial contribution increased. And through the 5-year plan also, during the 5-year plan period, more than 50% of the total outlay of the 5-year plan was spent for infrastructure facility provision. For providing the Indian economy with infrastructure facility for a rapid growth of the economy spent by the, we may say, 5-year plans. 5-year plans spend a lot of money for strengthening the infrastructure facility, road, transportation, communication, and such types of infrastructure facility was essential. And due to such a 5-year plan, policy measures and the money spent for strengthening the infrastructure facility, industries started to contribute, and so also service sector expansion was also there. And as industrial contribution as well as the service sector contribution started during this period, the share of the primary sector, agricultural sector to the national income year after year, we find was going on decreasing, which is a good symbol. Which is a good symbol of economic development, because highest contribution in almost all cases, in almost all countries, highest contribution is from the service sector, which indicates the developmental status of the country. If agriculture is contributing the maximum, it shows the backward nature of the economy. It shows the backward nature of the economy if the highest percentage of the national income is the contribution of the agricultural or primary sector. Whereas if the contribution, if maximum from the service sector or tertiary sector, it is supposed to be the best or fastly growing economy. But that is a symbol. It is a symbol of economic development of a country when the share contribution of the service sector going on increasing and the share contribution of the primary agricultural sector is going on decreasing. A symbol of development. Such a development is what we find now. The agricultural sector contribution now in Kerala state 13%. 13% of the state income, agricultural sector is now contributing according to the last census. Industrial sector contribution 24%. Industrial sector contribution 24%, and the maximum sectoral contribution not only in Kerala, in almost all states. In almost all states and in the Indian economy as a whole, we find the maximum contribution is from the service sector. In Kerala, the service sector contribution is 63%. 63% the service sector contribution of Kerala state, which also sometimes that can also be a question. The share contribution of the service sector in Kerala, which is the maximum. Kerala?
Indian states in 13th largest economy.
Level, rank by rank. You see that the contribution of the service sector in the Indian economy is maximum more than 50%. More than half of the contribution of state gross domestic product is coming from service sector, which is a good indicator of the fast development of the Kerala economy. Then GDP growth rate, Kerala state GDP growth rate. What do you mean by growth rate? Growth rate is the you take the difference between the growth GDP of 2 year, express it as a rate of growth. 11.4% GDP growth rate of the state of Kerala. Accordingly, now the present 11.4% at a rate of growth of 11.4%. At a rate of growth of 11.4%, the GDP growth rate in the Indian economy is taking annual growth rate. The economy is growing annually by contributing 11.4% to the growth rate. Growth rate of the Kerala state in the contribution of GDP, annual growth rate is 11.4%. 11.4% increase in all annual we find. Each year the contribution is going on increasing 11.4% growth rate of the economy. Anyway, another. According to the budget estimate, the last budget. The last budget means the current budget, 2019-20 budget. According to 2019-20 budget, 2019-20 budget, that is the current budget, the total revenue of the Kerala economy. The total revenue means tax and non-tax revenue all taken together. The complete tax resources as well as the non-tax resources of the Kerala economy taken together, it comes to 1.16 lakh crore. 1.16 lakh crore. 1.16 lakh crore rupees. That is the revenue of the Kerala economy during this current year. It comes to 17 billion US dollar. 17 billion US dollar. 17 billion US dollar is the tax revenue and non-tax revenue, total revenue of the Kerala economy 2019-20 comes to this amount. That is 17 billion US dollar or 1.16 lakh crores of rupees revenue. And the total expenditure according to the current total expenditure of the economy comes to 1.42 lakh crore. 1.42 lakh crore. Now you look at expenditure 1.42 lakh crore and the revenue 1.16 lakh crore. Our expenditure is exceeding 1.42 lakh crore means 21 billion US dollar. 21 billion US dollar. 21 billion US dollar. Our revenue 17 billion. 17 billion US dollar. Expenditure is greater. So we have a deficit budget. We have a deficit budget in India, in Kerala, and the deficit comes to rupees 26,291 crores. 26,291 crores. 26,291 crores or 3.8 billion US dollar. 3.8 billion US dollar is the deficit in the Kerala budget. Deficit means excess expenditure. Excess expenditure over the revenue of the Kerala state comes to 3.8 billion US dollar or 26,291 crores. Excess expenditure for economic development of the Kerala state over the revenue received during 2019-20. That is 3% of the state GDP. 3% of the state GDP is the deficit in the budget. 3% the deficit of the Kerala budget. The deficit of the Kerala budget, this amount comes to what percentage? 3% of the state GDP. State GDP 3% ഈ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്ന എക്സസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഡെഫിസിറ്റ് അല്ലേ. എക്സസ് എക്സ്പെൻഡിച്ചർ ഓർ ഡെഫിസിറ്റ് ഓവർ ദി റവന്യൂ ഓഫ് കേരള ഗവൺമെൻറ് കംസ് ടു 3%. 3% of the state GDP. This is important. It is important because we have our FRBM Act 2003. FRBM Act 2003 നമ്മൾ പബ്ലിക് ഫിനാൻസിൽ എടുത്തതാണ്. FRBM Act 2003. FRBM means Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, FRBM Act 2003. According to the objective, according to the statement in the FRBM Act, it is the responsibility of the Government of India as well as all state reduce the deficit. The deficit at that time 2003 was about 9% of the GDP. National level, Indian level, we may say 9% of the GDP was the deficit, very high. And therefore, the FRBM Act is suggesting a reduction in the deficit stage by stage, year after year. Year after year, we should reduce the deficit. That is one of the objectives mentioned in the FRBM Act. Bring to 3% and again reduce and come to the target of 1%. From this higher percentage, reduce little by little and come to 3% by 2009, again reduce and come to 1% for a fiscal consolidation. Other objective of the FRBM Act. Objective of the FRBM Act is that all state government, including the national, central government, reduction in the deficit is necessary. Stage by stage, little by little, the deficit should be reduced and it should be brought to 3% and again reduce and come to 1% of GDP for a fiscal consolidation. We have achieved 3%, we have achieved. Government of India have also achieved 3% deficit. 3% according to the requirement of a fiscal consolidation. According to the requirement for a fiscal consolidation, the policy of reducing expenditures and the policy of reducing deficit in the budget, we are also observing, and 3% according to the last Kerala government report, we find 3% is the deficit of the deficit of the Kerala budget. In comparison with what? In comparison with the state GDP. SGDP, Kerala state GDP, it comes to 3%. The amount comes to 3% of the state GDP. Somewhat we have successfully achieved the fiscal consolidation required. Again, in the next year and the other year also, we should reduce the expenditure for a fiscal consolidation, at least bringing the deficit equal to 1% of the state GDP. That achievement is our objective. Target അതാണ്. ആ ടാർഗറ്റിൻ്റെ ഏതാണ്ട് അടുപ്പിച്ച് വന്നു എന്നുള്ള ഒരു merit we can represent by this data.